Hello everyone, welcome to Crypto Mobile Mining and Trading. I am Dixon, and let me give you a quick real-time update after my tireless research to give you the finest. Before we dive in, please do me a huge favor. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button, like this video, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on critical updates like this one. Your support means the world and helps this channel grow. Alright, let's get straight into the big news shaking up the crypto market this week. We're seeing a massive shift in investor sentiment, and the numbers are telling a fascinating story. Spot exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, for Bitcoin and Ethereum have faced some serious headwinds. We're talking about roughly $1.2 billion in net outflows from Bitcoin-based ETFs. That's a huge number, signaling that many investors are pulling their money out or repositioning their portfolios. And it's not just Bitcoin feeling the pressure. Ethereum spot ETFs weren't spared either, recording approximately $507.7 million in net outflows over the same period. When you see the two giants of the crypto world, Bitcoin and Ethereum, both experiencing such significant withdrawals from their ETFs, it definitely makes you stop and think. It could be profit-taking after a good run, or it could be investors reducing their risk exposure in the current market climate. But here's where the story gets really interesting. While the big two are bleeding cash, another major crypto asset is bucking the trend in a big way. I'm talking about Solana. ETFs linked to Solana, or SOL, recorded an estimated $136.6 million in net inflows. Yes, you read that right. Inflows. This makes Solana the only major crypto asset to attract fresh capital this week. This divergence is a clear signal that something is shifting in the minds of investors. They seem to be rotating funds from the two largest, most established tokens toward what they might see as a higher risk but higher reward alternative. So why does this matter? Well, these flow dynamics are incredibly important for predicting price direction. ETF flows are a powerful gauge of both institutional and retail interest. The massive outflows from BTC and ETH ETFs could put downward pressure on their prices, at least in the short term. Conversely, the strong inflows into Solana suggest a wave of selective optimism. Investors might be making thematic bets on the strength and momentum of the Solana ecosystem. We're talking about its fast transaction speeds, low fees, and growing number of decentralized applications. This trend could also signal a potential shift in market leadership. For years, Bitcoin and Ethereum have been the undisputed kings, dominating crypto asset inflows. If funds are now consistently tilting toward alternative tokens like Solana, it could reshape the entire landscape. This might reflect evolving narratives in the crypto space where investors are looking beyond just store of value or smart contract platforms and focusing more on active Layer 1 platform growth, ecosystem development, and attractive token staking yields. If this trend continues, we could see Solana outperform the majors in the coming months. For anyone managing a crypto portfolio, this has serious implications. Fund managers and individual investors who track these ETF flows might start adjusting their allocations. This could mean reducing their core exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum and increasing their positions in higher beta platforms like Solana. The relative inflow into Solana is likely to trigger even more interest in its network developments, staking returns, and ecosystem announcements. It creates a positive feedback loop. Inflows attract attention, which drives development, which attracts more inflows. Before we go further, if you're finding this analysis helpful, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any questions or your own theories about these market movements, drop them in the comments below. I read every single one and will do my best to answer. Now, let's talk about liquidity and market structure. When you have large outflows from major assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, it can have ripple effects across the market. It can influence bid-ask spreads, making it more expensive to trade. It can affect the futures market, derivative hedging costs, and the overall price action in the secondary market, especially during times of high stress or volatility. So what should we be watching for in the coming days and weeks? First, it would be great to get a more detailed breakdown by fund provider and region. Identifying which specific ETFs are seeing these flows will give us a clearer picture of who is moving the market. Is it retail investors in one region or large institutions in another? Second, and most obviously, we need to watch the price response. Will these outflows directly correlate with price weakness for Bitcoin and Ethereum? And will the inflows fuel a rally for Solana? The next few days will be very telling. Third, keep an eye out for narrative shifts. The inflows into Solana suggest a powerful thematic story is building. Look for major announcements from the Solana ecosystem, new apps, big partnerships, or changes to staking incentives that could be driving this newfound interest. And finally, we need to see if this is a one-off anomaly or the beginning of a sustained trend. The flow data from the next few weeks will be crucial. Will funds continue to rotate away from BTC and ETH, or will they snap back to the market leaders? We also can't ignore the macro environment. Things like the Fed's interest rate decisions, new regulations, or major institutional adoption news can impact flows across all tokens, not just these three. Of course, we need to consider some risks and limitations. ETF flow data, while useful, is often aggregated and might not capture every single fund or region. Outflows don't automatically mean an asset is doomed. As I mentioned, it could simply be profit-taking. The underlying fundamentals like protocol activity and network growth are still what matter most in the long run. Similarly, inflows don't guarantee a sustainable rally for Solana. Ecosystem execution, token economics, and the broader market backdrop are all critical factors. And remember, large shifts in fund flows often bring heightened volatility, so please manage your risk accordingly. So the bottom line is this: the latest weekly flow data reveals a fascinating divergence. The old guard, Bitcoin and Ethereum, are seeing significant outflows from their ETFs, while the challenger, Solana, is capturing all the fresh capital. This strongly indicates a shift in investor sentiment and a rotation from core crypto exposure towards platform-level narratives with perceived higher growth potential. Market participants will be glued to their screens watching to see if this rotation continues or reverses. The outcome will have major implications for asset price leadership, market liquidity, and the thematic focus of the entire crypto ecosystem. It's a pivotal moment, and we'll be here to track it every step of the way. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found this update valuable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay ahead of the curve. And please leave your questions and comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this market shift. Once again, I am Dixon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.